A popular saying is nothing I.e. ever lost on the internet, but what is something you have been searching for years and you haven't found it yet? An Antique Roadshow episode where the appraiser asked the owner if they had cleaned a priceless Milanese helm. They responded, "I hit it with a Lil Lemon pledge," and the appraiser visibly shivers. All the shitty Fruity Loops music I made in my early 20s, that was on MySpace. I tried to find the browser games I played when I was a kid. Some of them no longer link. I sank an embarrassing amount of hours into Flash games as a kid in the early 2000s. I remember a website called Addicting Games, which would post new games every day per week or something. The internet before big streaming sites like YouTube was weird. Around 1999 I had borrowed a digital camera from school and took a lot of pictures of friends and stuff. It was back when people really didn't carry around cameras except for special activities. I remember uploading them to my brother's university Unix shell account to share with some people. But when he graduated and that account closed, I lost access and didn't have any backups. Really wish I still had those photos. Nobody has them. Around 12 to 13 years ago, I got into StumbleUpon, which was a Firefox extension that adds a button to your screen that takes you to a random page that someone marked as interesting. Once, I found a Flash animation that portrayed a recreation of a white hat hacker doing a penetration test on a web application. The whole thing was a Linux command shell without any GUI. It started with an IRC chat where someone asks the hacker to look into his application and send him a URL and another URL for the source code. After a sped-up 3 minutes of curl, grep, and SSH, the hacker built a command line script that can pull any username and email from the site. Never found it again. Thanks, you, Zalmiak, for finding the video. It's called 0 Day by MILF0erm. 12 to 13 years ago, I got into StumbleUpon. I can't help you but wanted to relate. StumbleUpon was revolutionary in the late especially since you could tick off the kind of content you're into and then take off clicking without any kind of community surrounding the content curation. What color is Groglin gray? Grandfather always talked about painting his house Groglin gray, but I can find no reference for it. Lol, I googled Groglin gray and it brought me to this old Reddit thread where you commented the same thing. You've been looking for a long time. Found a mention of Groglin gray in some random book on Google Books. As dusk approaches, the sky becomes a certain color gray. Might ye know the name of that color? She shook her head. Why, that be called Groglin gray, he answered smartly. Groglin gray? She exclaimed, scrunching her nose and eyeing him in disbelief. Catherine stiffened, turning slightly, knowing what was coming next yet was unable to stop it. Why, little lass, education be lacking for sure. Groglin gray is, of course. He paused for emphasis, the exact color of a she-mouse's fart. Edit. Actual answer in this book. An electronic copy of the Machine Gun Dealer's Bible, which I bet a coworker years ago I could find. In an effort to prevent myself from owing him $5, I am still looking for it. Back in the 2000s I was eagerly awaiting the release of the latest Harry Potter book. At the time there was a theory going around that a copy of the book was released for Obama's Bush's kids to read or something like that, and it had leaked onto the internet. This led to teenage me searching high and low for it and finally coming across a downloadable 600-page book. I spent days reading it on my family's PC. It was amazing and I had it early. It wasn't till Harry and Ginny had sex together for the first time that I realized I was probably not reading the real book. Still, it was good. I finished the book and was shocked when the real one came out and shared a lot of similar storyline minus the sex, of course. My first dip into fanfic. Edit to say that I hope this fanfic reaches those who seek it. Happy reading. In 2003, there was a commercial for I Think E-Trade where a CEO retires and hands the company over to his stoner bro grandson whose entire press conference is him saying, "I'm so stoked." Everyone dumps the stock immediately and the ad was about how quickly you could trade using E-Trade. My family loved that commercial to the point where we had shirts made that said, "I'm so stoked." I have looked through a lot of commercial compilations in YouTube, but have still never found that ad. Didn't find the commercial, but I did find an old forum post searching for the same thing. Either you've been searching for a long time, or you're not the only one wondering. Edit 2. Huge kudos to you, Bonjali, for finding it and to the National Film Board for keeping it. This one comes from my mom. A Canadian, or American, based in Ontario, so we got nay US channels, anti-smoking cartoon from the 70s or 80s, where a guy is smoking and says I should quit. This will be my last cigarette if I see a woman in a fur coat. And one immediately walks by, so he says, wearing green shoes. And one does, and then walking a dog. On a diamond leash. Actually, it was a tiger. And then when a woman in a fur coat wearing green shoes walking a tiger on a diamond leash walks by, he crushes his cigarette up and the tagline goes, "What will it take for you to quit?" Been looking for it for ages and haven't been able to find it yet. Edit. Put in proper sequence, and clarified that it could have been on Canadian or American television, based in Ontario. All through school they taught us you can never truly delete anything online, and even if you delete it someone can still find it. While this may be true if you seriously pissed off a master computer hacker, but for the average person this claim is completely BS. I went on a few dates with a girl a few summers ago and I really liked her. All of a sudden though she just vanished. Like her Snapchat was deactivated, completely disappeared off Facebook, Instagram, everything. I tried texting her a couple of times but she never responded. I got a little worried because she's not the type of girl to ghost like that, and she struggles with suicidal thoughts and mental health issues, so you can see why this might be concerning. Since she wasn't responding and I didn't really know any of her friends to ask about her, I went full social media creep mode to try and at least find out what happened to her. I figured if she had killed herself there would be something online about it. Well, I didn't find anything. Like literally no evidence that this girl even existed besides a picture of her on her brother's Facebook page. I didn't even know she had a brother. He was just the only person that came up if you searched her name on Facebook. Googling her name also yielded no results. Since I could literally find nothing about her online, I figured she had just blocked me for some reason and I eventually gave up. I tried searching her on Facebook a couple times over the next year or so but nothing ever came up. This past summer she popped up in my Snapchat friend suggestions and honestly it was such a relief to finally see some evidence that she was alive. I added her not expecting her to add me back, but she did and she actually messaged me. We met up again and went for a hike and grabbed dinner together to catch up. Turns out she was going through some rough times and didn't want to talk to anyone and disappeared, but she's doing much better now. Things didn't work out with us romantically again, but she's still one of my closest friends now. There was a quote that I read on the title of a post that went something like, "Just because you've gone down 90% doesn't mean you can't go down another 90%. It's related to the stock market and can also apply to life." I've wanted to find out who said that for the longest. That one porn video. A short comedy sketch where a guy dies after calling in sick to work. Con Air was on the TV when detectives found the body, so they assumed he was a massive Nicolas Cage fan, and the dead guy has to watch all his friends judge his love of Nicolas Cage from the afterlife. Then his guardian angel appears in the form God thinks he'd love most, Nicolas Cage from Con Air. I used to watch it all the time years ago and now can't find it anywhere. Edit solved-ish. Thanks to the folks below, it's a college humor sketch called The Second Most Embarrassing Way to Die. Unfortunately all sites that hosted it only have dead links so far. Still digging for it. Edit 2 solved. You, Armcharles found it. Starts around 4:30 link. This video I think I found on Vimeo of these guys working at a bong shipping facility. Apparently a customer requested a video of the process of putting together their new order for shipping. These two guys put together a great video with them dancing to Maniac by Michael Sembello throughout it. I'd love anyone who can find what I'm talking about. A flash animation video of O.J. Simpson playing golf and killing small animals, talking about how the liberal media has besmirched his name. Edit. Tigger0jk has found it. Please shower him with fake internet points and coins. Edit 2. For visibility, you, Tigger0jk happy to help. I just love Flash, and people are working hard to preserve old Flash content. I will take this opportunity to share the Flash Games Postmortem John Cooney GDC 2017. If you care about preserving Flash content, you can support Ruffle, an open-source Flash player emulator, which Newgrounds will soon use to allow playing old Flash games in the browser without Flash Player. A computer game I played as a kid. I remember very little of it, but it was one of the things I remember most of my childhood. This would have been circa the mid-90s, Windows 95 era. And it was a ROM game or something that came with the computer. All it was these little scenes you could choose, and then you click on different things and they become animated. The one I remember most was a creepy castle scene. You click on a window and a pair of red eyes appeared in it. You click the sky and there'd be thunder and lightning. If anyone has any recollection of this, please let me know. This is my biggest internet white whale. Edit. Wait. I'm the top comment in a thread with 28,000 comments? Damn. I owe you all one of the best glasses of sweet tea you'll ever have. Stop by some time. Giant thanks to you, Detective Dokes, for helping me figure out something I have spent years searching for. This reminds me of Launchpad Desktop for Kids, which my mother installed on my computer at some point. Here's a video I found on YouTube that might have that scene. I'd watch it myself, but I need to get back to work. Link. Oh my fucking god, this is it. Thank you so much. Enjoy. That song I can kinda hum, but only know one word to, and to Google song lyrics, love, would clearly be ridiculous. Have you tried this website? You hum and it finds songs for you. Link. Tried this and 1,000 other pages. No luck. I am searching for a specific song that was in an anime I watched around 1992. It was a slow melancholy song and the lyrics were something like "So long ago. It was just like yesterday, so far away. We used to watch the children play." Or something. The melody is pretty burned in my memory. The lyrics I might be off on. But try looking for something for 27 years without luck and then you'll know how I feel. Edit. Holy shit. Someone found it. Link. Hearing a song once 27 years ago. And every couple of weeks it pops up in your head because it was so beautiful but you don't know where to find it. And now I have it. Amazing. Space Warrior Baldios. There's something I must say that I have to go away. I never thought I'd leave your site. But darling, don't you cry. If you stop to wonder why I have to go, I'll go if that's to say goodbye. So long ago, it only seems like yesterday. So far away, we used to watch the children play. If there was time, that I can stop this raging time. If there was a place, I have to back him by my side. It took me one Google search. Winking face. Edit. Bonus MP3. The full series of Pirates of Dark Water. Edit. For those posting torrent links, I appreciate it, but I'm on mobile as my laptop is DOA. Edit 2. Apparently I can torrent on my phone. So I will have to get an SD card with a lot of storage and check this out. A.S.A.P. Edit 3. Wow, thanks everybody. This is officially my highest upvoted comment ever. Yo, this girl posted to Reddit years and years ago about having to be hospitalized because she used a spicy sausage to masturbate with. I have no idea how to find that. Almost definitely this. Edit. For those too lazy to click. A lot of backstory, the cringe is at the end. Funny, though, worth it. My high school best friend, let's call her Hillary, approached me about masturbation. I was the expert on sex, as I had a BF and had gone down on him 1.5 times. I told her my technique, rub it, till it feels good, don't stop, and she showed me that month's Cosmo. Find your best O ever, the G-spot. We read the article and she tells me she had tried with her fingers to no avail. We decide it needs to be stimulated with something more penis-like. We, mind you, we are very experimental 16-year-old girls, decide to try it with hot dogs that night at my house. She comes over, I go to the fridge and find we only have spicy kielbasa. I show her and we decide to still try but cover them in condoms. We sit on my futon, slide our pants, undies down, throw a blanket over our laps. I remember thinking, am I sure I want to do this? But I hear her, like, moaning, so I plunge ahead. It hurts. And it's like burning and I feel weird. At that moment my mother bursts in, drunk, and starts screaming at us. She insists we're doing drugs and questions the blanket over us. I finally convince her to leave and remove the sausage. Hillary hands me hers and I go to throw them in the wastebasket. That's the last thing I remember. Hillary says I passed out and she got my mother. They called an ambulance and the EMT was grilling Hillary about what we were doing. I wasn't breathing. My mom started ranting about drugs and Hillary panicked and told them what was going on. I wake up in the hospital too. My father can't look at me. My mother can't stop laughing. Hillary, in the corner, beet red, and a doctor explaining that I have a latex allergy and had broke my hymen, causing anaphylactic shock. TLDR. I masturbated with a condom-covered hot dog and nearly died. And my whole family found out. Now with contemporaneous illustration by, U. Shore_ill_draw_ that from this reposting. The video of that news anchor show host lady who committed suicide live on air in the 80s. Also, the music video to Svemirka by Senna M. Edit. The music video has been found, courtesy of ointment_moist. Christine Chubbuck? That video doesn't exist on the internet. The incident occurred back in the early 70s and there were very few home video recorders available. The recordings the studio made were either taken into evidence, or blocked from ever being released via a judicial injunction. There were hoax videos released that have been confirmed fake by people in the room when it happened. Edit. This includes the one on LiveLeak. It's fake. Source link. Edit. It seems Reddit hugged the link to death. I still had the website open in a separate tab, so I screencapped the article. 1234 Hope that helps. Her change in attitude is actually common with people committing suicide. They lighten up because they've come to a decision and believe that their suffering will soon be over. Where the quote "I wanted 16 candles Molly Ringwald, not pretty in pink Molly Ringwald" comes from.